Super Bowl 56 is upon us. In one corner, you have the Los Angeles Rams. They were preseason favorites after trading for Matthew Stafford from the Lions, and they picked up some major players during the season. They were going all in to win the Super Bowl this year, and here they are. In the other corner, you have the Cincinnati Bengals. They have a young core that was expected to be good in the future, but they arrived way earlier than anyone thought. Led by second-year quarterback Joe Burrow and rookie wide receiver Jamar Chase, this Bengals team is fearless, and they can beat any team on any day. Los Angeles versus Cincinnati. This is the perfect scenario for a park battle. Two of the best coaster parks in the country, squaring off for Super Bowl supremacy. So here we go. For the Lombardi Trophy, it's Six Flags Magic Mountain versus Kings Island. Six Flags versus Cedar Fair. Two of each chain's favorite parks, and I want to focus this matchup mainly on coaster battles. I will also look at other aspects of each park, but let's start this off by comparing coasters. The winner of each one will get 1 point, unless the gap is so big that it deserves 2. Each park will get 1 or 2 bonus points for coasters that don't have a match at the other park. Let's start small. Gold Rusher against Adventure Express. Both have great terrain layouts and a few spots where the train picks up a lot of speed. Adventure Express seems more isolated. It includes tunnels and theming. It's also 20 years newer than Gold Rusher, so it has that advantage. Even though Gold Rusher has held up well over time, Adventure Express is the better ride. I don't like that lift hill that ends the ride, but the trade-off for that is the ride getting started right out of the station. I love it when rides give you something before the lift hill. Point for Kings Island. Now for the GCI Woodies. Apocalypse against Mystic Timbers. I've always been a fan of Apocalypse. It's one of my favorite coasters to ride when I visit the park. It hardly ever has a line, and the first half is wild, plus it has decent airtime. I think Apocalypse is a perfectly average GCI. On the other hand, Mystic Timbers is the best GCI in America, and it's not that close. This thing flies through the course, more of an out and back layout than a twister, but it still has twists and turns full of airtime throughout the whole course. Kings Island gets another point for this one. Let's look at one of 2 Premier Rides launch matchups, Full Throttle versus Flight of Fear. I know Full Throttle is a really short ride, and it ends with a very unsatisfying finale, but talk about a unique terrain coaster. It also has some great forces, from hang time on the loop, to that stomach-dropping feeling on the backwards launch, to ejector airtime over the top hat. Flight of Fear was Premier Ride's first looping coaster, going through 4 inversions completely in the dark. It's intense and disorienting, and you get to do all of it with just a lap bar. It's a good, solid ride, but I've never enjoyed it that much. I also have complained about Full Throttle in the past, but I would definitely choose that over Flight of Fear. Magic Mountain gets his first point. Now the other Premier Rides matchup, West Coast Racers versus Backlot Stunt Coaster. This one might be a little unfair, but they're both more mild rides, just with some intense moments. Backlot Stunt Coaster has special effects, and that's the main draw. West Coast Racers has that pit stop and some NQ theming, but nothing else. West Coast Racers also has 4 inversions and 4,000 feet of track, along with some solid airtime moments. I love this more than I probably should, but I think most people would agree with me here. Magic Mountain gets the point. How about the battle of the B&M inverts? Batman the Ride versus Banshee. This isn't really a fair fight. Batman is their original model, going back to the early 90s, but it's known as a very compact and intense ride. Banshee is one of their newer inverts. It's about 50 feet taller and almost 1,500 feet longer. It's also got 2 extra inversions. To me, this is no contest. I know some people like the quick and snappy nature of Batman, but Banshee is just a beast. It's got huge elements, but still manages to be intense. It has a very unique pretzel knot, and it ends with a hang time filled slow roll. Point for Kings Island. Staying under the track, let's do Ninja versus the Bat. These are both very strong aero-suspended coasters. Ninja has a great terrain layout, starting at the top of the mountain, winding down to the bottom, that climax being right over Jetstream's lake. It has that lift hill ending just like Adventure Express, but it is what it is. It's a very solid suspended coaster. Now for the Bat. This also has a wooded setting, but it's so much more extreme than Ninja. It has that big straight drop and it flies through the course. It's kind of a short ride, but I still take this over Ninja. It's much more of a thrill ride, so Kings Island gets the point. Now for the Hypers, Goliath versus Diamondback. This is actually my least favorite hyper against my favorite hyper, so if any of these matchups need to be worth 2 points, this is it. Goliath has a terrible drop, and barely a hint of any airtime. Diamondback has a great drop, and has sustained floater on every hill. It also offers a long ride, and ends with a splashdown. Diamondback is a top 10 coaster on my list. It's everything a hypercoaster should be. Goliath is a prime example of how to waste a ton of height and speed. 2 points for Kings Island. That's all for the comparable rides. Now I have to get a little creative. Let's do historic coasters from the 70s. Revolution versus Beast. These are totally different rides, but at least they have that in common. The Beast was a groundbreaking wooden coaster from 1979, with over 7,000 feet of track, and Revolution opened with the first modern vertical loop in 1976. I think the Beast has stood up better over time than Revolution. Both use terrain pretty well. Revolution is not a simple ride by any means, but it's pretty mild. The Beast is also not overly intense, but that last helix is insane. I'll take the Beast. Another point for Kings Island. The last matchup is the battle of the elite wildcards, Orion versus X2. Orion is Kings Island's newest and tallest coaster. It's got a 300-foot drop, and it's awesome. A lot of people were disappointed with it. I actually thought it was better than advertised. X2 is one of the most unique coasters in the world, but also one of the most demented. 20 years after it opened, it's still one of the top draws at Magic Mountain. These are both top 25 coasters, but I gotta give the edge to X2, if nothing else, for that first drop alone. Magic Mountain's down 7-3, but here's where they can catch up. Bonus points for all those extra coasters. Kings Island used to have an answer for Viper and Tatsu, with Vortex and Firehawk, but those are gone now. Regardless, Magic Mountain would win those battles anyway. That being said, without Firehawk, I'm giving Magic Mountain 2 points for Tatsu. Magic Mountain's also getting 2 points for Twisted Colossus, an elite level RMC hybrid that Kings Island doesn't have an answer for. That gives Magic Mountain an 8-7 lead. Also add points for Scream, Riddler's Revenge, Superman, and the brand new Wonder Woman Flight of Courage. Kings Island earns a couple points back with Vertigo and Racer. Magic Mountain used to have coasters that would have beaten these, Deja Vu and Colossus, but those are gone. The score is now 12-9. Let's step away from the coasters and onto something important, the parking lot. Magic Mountain has a terrible parking lot. This is because they put the water park on the old parking lot, and now you have to walk around the water park to get to the main park. At Kings Island, you can park right by the entrance and walk in. 12-10. Location and atmosphere. Kings Island is right off the freeway, so is Magic Mountain. This makes it really easy to get in and out. That's a push. Kings Island has a nice wooded backdrop. Magic Mountain doesn't have that, but it does have a giant hill that's right in the middle. So on rides like Revolution, Ninja, and Gold Rusher, you kind of feel isolated. Kings Island may be a little better, but I'm willing to call this a draw. As for park layout, I don't have a problem with either. I think they're both easy to navigate, relatively circular parks. Both have some rides that are hard to get to, but I don't favor one over the other. I'll also throw in theming. For both parks is pretty minimal. Kings Island has been doing a better job as of late, but so has Magic Mountain. Kings Island is probably a little better, but not enough to give it the point. I'll keep the score 12-10. Now let's talk food, and I think Kings Island gets the edge here just for being a Cedar Fair park. Most Cedar Fair parks have Subway and Chick-fil-A. The best named brand Six Flags has is Johnny Rockets. Kings Island also has the Coney Barbecue, and of course, Skyline Chili. I really enjoyed this last time I went there. You're always going to find better quality at Cedar Fair parks in general, and Kings Island has the added bonus of their famous blue ice cream. At Magic Mountain, your food choices aren't bad, it's just nothing special. 12-11. Both parks have a water park, but Kings Island's is included with admission. Magic Mountains has its own separate gate. It's always nice when the water park doesn't require another ticket, so Kings Island ties a score. Neither park is great when it comes to transportation rides. Magic Mountain's only one left is the helpful Honda Express, taking you from the bottom of the mountain to the top. Kings Island has their train, which takes you from the water park and back, but it also offers some nice views. I was going to give Kings Island a point here, but I think it's a draw. One thing Kings Island has over Magic Mountain is the Eiffel Tower. This thing is actually open, and it's great. You can stay up there as long as you want and get shots of any coaster in the park. Magic Mountain has a great sky tower also, and you can see everything from up there, but it hasn't been open in almost 10 years. The state will not let them open it unless they make some major renovations. Very expensive renovations, and the park would rather spend that money on other projects. Kings Island takes the lead 13-12. How about flat rides? Kings Island used to have Tomb Raider, which would have helped, but they still have Delirium, Drop Tower, Boo Blasters, and Windseeker. But I think Magic Mountain can answer all of that and do even better. Crisanity is awesome. Lex Luthor is 100 feet taller than their drop tower. Justice League is a great modern shooting dark ride. They just don't have an answer for the Windseeker. It's a close call because of the Windseeker, but I'll give Magic Mountain the slight edge here. We're tied at 13. The final category is operations. Aside from the Universal and Disney parks, Kings Island has the best operations I've ever seen. On top of that, they have the friendliest employees I've ever seen, and that includes Disney, Universal, Dollywood, Holiday World, you name it. It's not just one time either, it's time and time again. Every time I visit, it never fails to impress. I've never worked at this park, but I think it would be interesting to see the culture they have there. Whatever they're doing to get everyone on the same page, I hope they keep doing it. Fast-moving lines and a friendly staff makes for a good day every time. I did work at Magic Mountain, and we didn't have anything like that. I don't think the ops at Magic Mountain are bad, but they're not great. I do appreciate the fact they don't staple, but going up against Kings Island in operations is always a losing battle. Kings Island takes the final category and a 1-point win, 14-13. A pretty common football score, and maybe this will give the Bengals a win. As for the game itself, this is a really close call. The Rams are favored. They're the better team on paper, but don't count out the Bengals. They've played 7 AFC playoff teams this year, and they've won all 7. They rise up in big games, and there's no game bigger than this. The Rams can lay an egg, or they can come out firing. In their game against the Bucs, they did both. The Rams have some great pass rushers on defense, and as we saw against Tennessee, the Bengals aren't always great at protecting Joe Burrow. This could decide the game. I'm not confident in my pick, but I'm gonna say the park battle is correct. The Bengals win a close one, 23-20. Let me know what you think about this park battle, which park you prefer, and who you think is gonna win Super Bowl 56. I know I'm kind of a Kings Island fanboy, so this was an interesting battle going up against my old home park, and I'm not surprised it came down to a 1-point win. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, and if you're new here and love coasters, give me a sub, and check out my links below for my Discord server, and my second channel where I post copyright-free off-ride footage, and my baseball channel if you also happen to be a sports fan. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.